Yo, do you want to talk with me?
Oh,
Book
hey.
fucker.
I, b- I was interested to see you not push on a few points, but I'm a pedantic fuck. You down
Sure.
for that?
Which point? Yeah, sure. Which points?
All right, give me like 2 seconds because I got to turn you up. You're like uber quiet.
Okay.
All right, and there's like fiestas going on outside, so you just let me know if you hear that, and I can
Yeah, for
move
sure.
rooms. But um, so I found it interesting that she kind of let slip that there were moments that triggered the mod team to understand that the VOD needed to be deleted.
Mm-hmm.
There were things Irene said unprovoked by the mod team or the chat that were yikers enough for them to realize they needed to delete the VOD
Correct.
because the chat was mentioning that, oh, there, we've got her. Let's like cash this in or whatever. I would be interested to have heard what she recalled those things to have been. I may have missed that, but did she ever explain from her
She
point of view
she
what was said?
said she said a kind of a cop out answer in my opinion, which was just like, hey, it was things that could have been interpreted as that if you were being bad faith enough. That's what she said. Like pretty much, it could have been
Interesting.
interpreted as uh like doxing or I forget what it was, like attacking political career or something, if you were being bad faith or whatever. So like it was pretty much a non-answer as far as I was concerned. And so, I mean, I had a sharp reaction to it, but I definitely could have drilled on it more. But I made a pretty sharp reaction when she told me pretty upfront that they deleted the VOD because people were saying that it sounded like the Irene had like harassed her. So I was like, it was really weird to me. So yeah, I don't know. Um,
Yeah, because I would be interested because Nell had very specific quotes, and I was
yeah,
speaking with her in the Discord prior to her going on, and like the level of specificity that she has and commenters and streamers coming forth like backing that up as far as what
yeah,
was said, there
yeah.
seems to be an awful lot, and I would just like to know what their counter narrative is, and if it's as vague as like, I don't quite remember exactly, but it was something along the lines of threats or close enough to it that we could see it being clipped out of context. Maybe like you have very nuanced ideas about something that you can't remember the specifics about at all.
Yeah,
That's very interesting to me.
sure. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I probably should have hit that a little bit harder. What was the other thing that you could think of? Because I feel like I agree. Hold up, just
Um,
before I can be finished. I know the cat wants to go outside of the room. All right. The problem is there is other animals inside of the house that might attack this cat. It is old and frail. I cannot let this cat out of the room. It might literally die. It is 17 years old. A strong wind could kill this cat. All right, continue.
yeah. I thought it was interesting that she was calling into question like the credibility of people like Samantha or people like these other streamers making accusations when it would seem to me that even for you personally, Irene has no legs to stand on in terms of credibility. That if we mean to like disregard people's like what they're saying like offhandedly because their credibility is shot, it would seem to me that of all people that should be applied to Irene,
Yeah.
and she kind of just
Yeah,
got to say that.
yeah, I needed to drill that more, like specifically, because I believe I hinted at that by saying like, well, there's all of these people with corroborating evidence, including myself, to be able to say that like she's not the most credible person when it comes to her honesty and things like that. But I needed to drill it more specific. Why trust Irene in this situation instead of the litany of other people? But she was trying to perpetuate the narrative that like we're all in cahoots with Dylan because he has big numbers and people bigger than numbers. That means everyone has to slob on the knob of the person with. I feel like
Sure.
they were trying to perpetuate, and I felt like that was kind of a losing fight because I can't just say like, no, I'm not looking out for Dylan because of his numbers because like there's no way to prove that and stuff like that. But I definitely
Yeah.
think it's talking about.
And I could be way over focused on this, but like any time that she seems to vaguely remember things as being bad, like when she's like, oh, yeah, there were some yikers things said in this private conversation, but then like she doesn't get pushed on like, oh, okay, like if there are yiker things here and releasing like the full unedited thing would like put people in a precarious situation, then how's about like instead of doing that or instead of like triggering that to happen by not speaking about it, you give us what your specific like, recollection of the conversation is, not this vague idea of it.
Um, yeah, I mean, I could have asked for that, for sure. I don't know.
Because
I
if
just
anything ever comes out and these people were on the record giving specific
right,
recollections of what happened and it's like the opposite, then I
right.
feel like that.
That's what I was trying to do, especially towards the back end of the thing, was like trying to get them on. But I feel like their narrative shifted. I could have been wrong, but I felt like they had said that like nothing had occurred with any of the people inside of the stream that would have alluded to the idea of trying to go at Dylan's political career or anything like that. And then when I got closer to the recording, it felt very much like the.
And did you have the opportunity to ask about Irene's apology videos that she very quickly deleted?
No, I didn't even know anything about those. Still don't know. The reason why I imagine I don't know about those is because fucking Irene just wanted to burn the bridge with me for some fucking reason so fucking bad. Even when she came in here today, she just wanted to burn the bridge. Really fucking bad. I have no good reason why that that felt the need to happen. I wanted to have a conversation with her and shit like that, but she just wasn't having any of it.
Hmm. Because I feel like that would have been another interesting thing to have heard the mod opinion about. Like, then what are we to make of the apology videos that seem to have been alluding to what had happened in there? I would be interested to see like how you, from your perspective, thinking these things didn't happen or they were blown into a way where they're totally like mischaracterized, then why did she feel compelled enough to make these apology videos? And if you remember anything about the apology videos, do you remember what they were apologizing for? And
I'm almost okay. Like objectively, you are correct in this circumstance, but I already know what 100% this person would have said would have just been like she felt attacked and she wanted the attacking to stop, so she made the videos that way they would just stop. She just wanted to stop. I know for an absolute fact that would have been said almost certainly, but objectively, you are correct. I should have asked, but I mean, I just didn't have the knowledge.
yeah, and besides that, like getting the specifics, like,
Yeah.
okay, so that's the explanation for why she did it. But I'm curious, do you recall what the contents of that were? And could you separate for me the fact and the fiction? Like, if she's apologizing, what was she apologizing for? And how far away was it from the truth? And like pushing her into situations where she has to like draw a more clear and coherent picture between all of these different stories, I think would become increasingly difficult for her. But she doesn't get into specifics. She gets to like philosophize about platforming or philosophize about this or that and enter into like long-winded discussions rather than like recalling her specific, memories about what had happened.
So. Um.
Because the other side has very specific, like she had
Yeah.
said this and she had said
Some
this and
a very
and then
cohesive narrative and some fucking imgers and stuff like that. I saw like tweets and shit. It's like
whereas they're just casting doubt on like all the reputation of every single person, even random chatters that had said that they had seen it. And it's like,
yeah.
okay, well, you clearly have some idea of what had happened. Like you have a counter narrative. What is that? And what are the specifics of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I just yeah. I agree with you. I should have drilled more on that in that regard. Is there any other critiques that you might have had? Because I agree.
well, I'm learning that I need to like couple this with a bunch of compliments. And I got to say, I really appreciated and enjoyed like you keeping your patience and sticking with her through a lot of the early parts of the discussion. I appreciated like the reactions kind of cluing us into you understand what's going on as well as we do as she's like saying these different things, even if you didn't drill down on them. Like, I think you handled that super well and you kept your cool through a lot of it. And I think that's something that not a lot of other people could do. You mentioned that like I don't have conversations or debates with people who like I know I'm not confident at like addressing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you downplay your ability in a lot of regards, and I think this was like a really good showing in terms of debate and in terms of like following stuff around, and you held off on a lot of like really damning points like, okay, so why is it a problem to have this guy on if debates don't impact people at all? Like, I love that you save these things until the end, and I appreciate that about your style quite a bit.
Thank you, man. Means a lot to me, brother. Um,
Not a problem.
okay. I guess then, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Then I appreciate your input, and I 100% am going to try and think of that and reference this moment in the future, your input, because I remember thinking specifically that I needed to drill on that more, and then I ended up getting lost in a line of dialogue that was being said. And so, yeah, I'm 100% going to work on that. And
Amazing. Have a good rest of your stream, dude.
have a good one. All right. That was Book Fucker. All right. It was the Book Fucker.